Sit with this moment for a while, because what you're sensing is not just emotion passing through you, but a deeper internal shift, something that feels heavy because it carries meaning, not because it signals anything supernatural or absolute. People often describe turning points in life in ways that sound dramatic, as if the entire world paused, but in reality, it is usually a quiet recognition that something important has changed in how we understand events around us. When that happens, the mind tries to give shape to the feeling, sometimes using powerful imagery like, quote, seals, quote, boundaries, or, quote, forces being triggered, even though what is really unfolding is the human process of realization, memory, and interpretation coming together at once. In that space, it can feel as if unseen lines have been crossed, or that life is responding in a symbolic way, but it is more accurate to see it as your thoughts trying to organize uncertainty into something understandable. At times like this, we also become more aware of the people around us and the influence they have had on our emotions and decisions, which can lead to reflection, misunderstanding, or heightened sensitivity. That is why it is important not to rush toward conclusions about hidden actions or unseen intentions, but instead to stay grounded in what can be known and verified. What you are experiencing can be reframed as a psychological and emotional threshold, a moment where perception changes and old assumptions begin to loosen. Rather than signaling punishment or external forces acting upon your life, it is better understood as an internal recalibration, where meaning is being reassessed and the past is being reinterpreted through a new lens. These moments can feel intense because they challenge certainty, but they also create space for clarity if approached with patience. The key is to slow down the interpretation, separate feeling from fact, and allow understanding to form gradually rather than all at once. But they were wrong. My child, when someone intentionally plots against a soul I protect, the spiritual world reacts, the atmosphere trembles, the laws of consequence stir, angels reposition themselves, and the seal, this ancient seal I placed to guard the innocent, begins to crack. You have felt unusual heaviness recently, haven't you? Moments of tiredness for no reason, strange thoughts that were never yours, a lingering sense that someone's energy around you was not pure. You didn't imagine it, you didn't exaggerate it. Your spirit detected what your mind couldn't explain, because this person did not merely harbor bad feelings toward you. They acted on them. They attempted to tamper with something that belonged to you, something sacred, something divine, something heaven had already stamped with your name. And when they did, the seal responded instantly. This is why the spiritual temperature around your life changed. This is why the air felt heavy for a moment. This is why your dreams shifted. This is why you sensed something was off. My child, I need you to understand this deeply. This person touched something that was never theirs to touch. They attempted to block your blessing. They attempted to divert your breakthrough. They attempted to influence the timing of something heaven already released into your destiny. And because of that single act, not their jealousy, not their hatred, not their bitterness, but that single act of interference, the seal broke. Now, what does that mean for them? What happens now? Why is this so serious? Listen, my beloved, and hear the truth clearly. When the seal of retribution breaks, the spiritual realm does not wait for permission. It does not delay. It does not ask for mercy. It simply reveals motives, reveals hearts, reveals intentions, reveals the true identity behind the mask. This is why I said, something irreversible has begun, not because I am sending destruction, but because truth has started exposing what was once hidden. This exposure cannot be prayed away. It cannot be stopped. It cannot be reversed. It cannot be interrupted, because truth is the one force in the universe that does not negotiate. And my child, this person knows it. They feel it. They sense something shifting around them. Their spirit is uneasy. Their mind is restless. Their peace is cracking like thin ice beneath their feet, not because I am attacking them, but because they awakened a consequence that had been sleeping for years. Now, I know what your heart is thinking. You're wondering, who is this? Why would they do this? Why target me? Why risk their own spiritual safety just to harm me? My child, that is what I am about to show you. But before I tell you who they are, you need to understand why they took this step. This person has watched you survive things that should have destroyed you. They have watched you rise again and again from storms that others would have drowned in. They have seen blessings land in your life that you did not chase. They have heard the grace in your voice, even after betrayal. They have witnessed the strength you didn't ask for, but still carry. And in their heart, instead of admiration, instead of gratitude, instead of respect, they nurtured resentment. Quiet, bitter, infectious resentment. You never hurt them. You never wronged them. You never betrayed them. But your existence, your resilience, your favor, your light, irritated the darkness inside them, and the darkness grew. Slowly, quietly, and almost imperceptibly, things began to shift around you. At first, it showed up in small ways, delayed decisions, conversations that didn't feel as direct as before, and moments where plans seemed to bend without a clear reason. You may not have been able to name it, but you could feel it, like a background tension you couldn't quite ignore. That feeling wasn't meaningless. It reflected the complexity of too many moving parts happening at once. You are not in danger now, and nothing here is meant to create fear. What matters most is understanding what was actually happening beneath the surface. Over time, someone connected to these decisions tried to influence the timing and direction of events tied to you. Not through anything dramatic or extreme, but through pressure, opinions, and repeated attempts to steer outcomes toward their own preference. It didn't stop the process, but it did create confusion, slow momentum, and make certain steps feel heavier and less clear than they should have been. Situations like this rarely unfold in a single moment. They build gradually through competing priorities and crossed intentions. Even without having the full picture, you sensed that something wasn't aligning correctly. That instinct you felt wasn't random. It was your awareness responding to inconsistency and mixed signals. It was a reminder that too many external influences were shaping something that required simplicity and focus. Now, as things begin to settle, the situation becomes easier to read in hindsight. The delays were not signs that anything was lost, but signs that the process was being pulled in different directions. What matters now is that clarity is returning, the noise is fading, the decisions are coming into place, and what once felt uncertain is starting to stabilize. You don't need to hold on to suspicion or overthink every detail anymore. Just stay grounded and attentive as everything resolves at its natural pace. It wasn't a simple opportunity or a moment of favor. It was something foundational, something life-changing, something that was meant to shift your entire future. And they knew that. They recognized the season you were entering. They sensed the elevation around you. They felt the shift in your atmosphere. They saw the light around you grow stronger. And instead of celebrating you, they panicked. Instead of supporting you, they envied you. Instead of rejoicing, they schemed. Instead of covering you in love, they covered you in silent resentment. Do you know what fear does to a corrupt heart? It pushes it to act, to manipulate, to interfere, to disrupt the path of someone they feel threatened by. And that's what they tried to do to you. Let me be very clear. They did not attack your body or your possessions. They attacked your future. your increase, your growth, your next level. They thought delaying your next blessing would weaken you. They believed slowing your momentum would make you vulnerable. They hoped pushing your breakthrough out of timing would break your spirit. But what they didn't know, my child, is that heaven watches timing more closely than any human ever could. And when they stretched their hand toward your destiny, the spiritual world reacted instantly. That is what cracked the seal. Not their hatred, not their gossip, not their jealousy, their attempt to interfere with divine timing. Do you understand now why the consequence is so serious? Do you see why the atmosphere shifted? Do you see why I stepped in? Because they touched something sacred. Now, my child, I am going to answer the question you've been holding in your heart. Who is this person? Who could do such a thing? How close are they? Prepare yourself for this truth. This person is someone who has learned you well, not someone distant, not a casual acquaintance, not an enemy you already suspect. This is someone who has studied your weaknesses, watched your routines, paid attention to your hopes, listened to your dreams, observed your progress, pretended to support you, but secretly compared themselves to you in every step. This is someone who sits near you in moments of peace, but watches you in moments of blessing. Their heart is unstable with you. When you're hurting, they act gentle. When you're rising, they act distant. When you succeed, they act silent. They are the kind of person who smiles in your presence and sighs in your absence. This person, my child, is someone you let close because you believed their heart was clean. You trusted their intentions. You shared pieces of your life with them. You gave them access, and that access became their weapon. But listen to me. Their identity will reveal itself without you needing to name them. Their own actions will expose them. Their own words will betray them. Their own energy will shift in front of you, because the seal of retribution doesn't just reveal the deed, it reveals the doer. You will start noticing sudden tension when they speak to you. Their guilt will make their voice unstable. Their eyes may avoid yours. Their spirit will feel heavier around you. They may distance themselves suddenly, fearing what is coming. And here is the part that will shock you most. They were warned. Heaven whispered to them before they acted. Their conscience tugged at them. Their spirit felt uneasy. Their chest tightened. Their thoughts hesitated, but they ignored every warning. They thought, no one will know. No one will see. No one will notice. They underestimated the spiritual world. It can create a sense that hidden forces are at work, or that events are unfolding in a predetermined way, with clear moral outcomes. But in real life, things are usually more complex and less coordinated than that. People make choices for many different reasons, often without a full understanding of how those choices affect others, and consequences tend to emerge through a mix of time, circumstance, and human behavior, rather than through any kind of directed or symbolic mechanism. What feels like revelation or exposure is often the natural result of information becoming clearer over time, through communication, observation, or simply distance from the original emotional intensity. It is also common during stressful or uncertain periods to interpret patterns in a way that assigns intention or inevitability where there may only be coincidence or misunderstanding. That doesn't make the feelings invalid. It just means the interpretation needs grounding, so it doesn't lead you into assumptions that may not reflect reality. When something feels hidden or unclear, the most reliable path forward is not prediction or expectation of consequences unfolding in a specific way, but careful attention to verifiable facts and direct conversations where possible. People are rarely as one-dimensional as they appear in moments of suspicion or fear, and situations that feel charged often soften when viewed with time and perspective. Instead of focusing on the idea that everything will inevitably reveal itself in a dramatic way. It's more helpful to stay anchored in what you can observe and confirm. That approach protects you from being pulled into conclusions that feel powerful in the moment but may not hold up when examined closely. I will tell you what signs will expose them. I will tell you how heaven will flip every attempt they made against you. Let's begin. My child, the first sign will appear in their behavior. You will notice something strange, not because you are looking for it, but because it will surface on its own. Their words will change. Their tone will shift. Their energy will feel unstable around you. They may suddenly grow distant, or suddenly grow overly friendly. They may avoid eye contact, or speak too much to cover their discomfort. They may act irritated for no reason, or act overly sweet, hoping to hide their guilt. This shift is not coincidence. It's the seal revealing their spirit. The second sign will show up in their relationships. People around them will start sensing something off. Their connections will strain. Their alliances will weaken. Their influence will shrink. Because when someone tries to interfere with a chosen destiny, the spiritual world removes their ability to manipulate others. The third sign will appear in their life circumstances. Things they once controlled will start slipping from their hands. Plans they made will fall apart. Opportunities they counted on will fail. Unexpected obstacles will rise in front of them. Why? Because the universe corrects imbalance. When darkness tries to disrupt a chosen soul's path, that darkness collapses in on itself. But the fourth sign, my child, this is the one that will reveal everything, the one that exposes not just their actions, but their identity. Their own words will betray them. In a moment of anger, fear, stress, or guilt, they will speak something they shouldn't have said, something too detailed, something too specific, something they shouldn't have known. And right in that moment, your spirit will recognize them immediately. You will not guess. You will not doubt. You will not be confused. You will know, because I will open your discernment. I will sharpen your intuition. I will illuminate your vision. I will reveal their identity in a way that leaves no question. Now, listen carefully. The seal does not just expose what they did. It activates a reversal. Everything they attempted to delay in your life will now accelerate. Everything they tried to block will now break open. Everything they tried to steal will return multiplied. Everything they tried to shut will swing wide open. Because heaven does not allow interference without creating a divine counter-reaction. You see, my child, this person believed they were strong enough to manipulate your path. They thought they could slow God. They thought they could twist timing. They thought they could intercept destiny. They underestimated the spiritual covering around you. They underestimated the angels assigned to you. They underestimated the authority that surrounds your name. They believed they were harming you quietly, but what they truly did was reveal their own heart publicly. Now, I will show you what heaven is about to release over your life, a release triggered not by their attempt, but by your resilience, your purity, and your refusal to carry malice. My child, hear me clearly, because you stayed pure while they stayed poisonous, because you stayed honest while they stayed deceitful, because you stayed kind while they stayed jealous, heaven is about to lift you into a level they will never be able to reach. This is not revenge. This is spiritual balance. This is divine order. This is the consequence of light encountering darkness. Your next blessing will be accelerated. Your next opportunity will be undeniable. Your next breakthrough will be visible to everyone. Your next elevation will be public. Why? Because when darkness tries to dim a chosen soul, heaven turns that soul into a spotlight. Now, my child, I must tell you one more truth, the part that completes this chapter of Revelation. If this person reaches out to you again, it may not be in a straightforward or transparent way. More often than not, when relationships or interests become complicated, People return not to resolve things clearly, but to understand what has changed and how much ground they may have lost. You might notice a careful tone, indirect questions, or an effort to read your reactions more than to speak openly. In situations like this, the most important thing is not to rush into interpretation or confrontation. You don't need to prove anything in the moment, and you don't need to force clarity through argument. Staying calm and grounded gives you more control than reacting emotionally or trying to expose every hidden motive you suspect. Let actions speak over time instead of trying to resolve everything in a single conversation. If someone's intentions are unclear, you are allowed to observe without immediately engaging at a deeper level. Boundaries matter here, not as punishment toward others, but as protection for your own clarity and peace of mind. You can acknowledge someone without giving them access to your decisions, your plans, or your emotional center. And if there were misunderstandings or tensions before, they don't have to be reopened in a way that drains you or pulls you back into confusion. Sometimes the healthiest response is simply consistency. Respond politely, stay measured, and allow time to reveal what words cannot. People ultimately show who they are through repeated behavior, not single interactions, and that pattern becomes clearer when you are not reacting impulsively. What matters most going forward is that you remain steady in your own direction, without getting pulled into speculation about hidden motives or imagined outcomes. Life tends to clarify relationships naturally when you stop forcing immediate answers. With patience and distance where needed, things either resolve honestly or fade into irrelevance on their own, and in both cases, you maintain your stability and focus. Yes, heaven will remove their proximity to you, not suddenly, but naturally, not violently, but gradually, not through confrontation, but through separation. They will begin to fade from your life, their influence weakening, their presence diminishing, their role dissolving, because a heart filled with darkness cannot stay near a soul protected by light. Do not fear this separation. Do not mourn it. Do not fight it. This is protection disguised as distance. This is clarity disguised as change. This is closure disguised as silence. Now, my child, I will tell you something even more important. You are entering a season where only genuine hearts will survive near you. Only clean intentions will walk beside you. Only loyal souls will stay in your atmosphere. This is why the seal shattered so loudly in the spiritual realm, because your life is transitioning into a chapter where betrayal cannot follow. Now let me show you what heaven is preparing for you, because your blessing will not come quietly. No, my child, not this time. Your blessing is arriving like a wave, sudden, strong, undeniable. Here is what is about to unfold in your life. 1. Clarity, like you've never experienced. Your spiritual vision is sharpening. Your intuition is becoming sharper than a blade. You will discern people instantly. You will feel intentions before words are spoken. Where others get confused, you will simply know. 2. A major breakthrough that was delayed will now accelerate toward you. The blessing they tried to stop, it's coming faster, stronger, bigger, more abundant. You will not have to chase it. It will find you. It will arrive on its own. It will land in your hands, exactly when heaven decides, and heaven has already decided. 3. Unexpected opportunities will align for you. Doors you forgot about will reopen. People you never met will favor you. Paths you didn't see before will unfold. Resources you thought you lost will return. This is the reversal of what they attempted to do. 4th, peace will settle over your life in a way you haven't felt in years. Your mind will rest. Your heart will breathe again. Your nights will feel lighter. Your mornings will feel brighter, because the heaviness that came from their presence will finally lift. 5. Your name will be cleared in places where it was whispered against. Those who doubted you will see your strength. Those who judged you will witness your rise. Those who misunderstood you will watch everything shift in your favor. Their attempts to dim you will only make your light more visible. Now, let me speak directly to your heart, my child. You did nothing wrong. You did not deserve the interference. You did not invite the betrayal. You did not earn the jealousy. You did not create the conflict. You simply lived with purity, and your purity threatened their darkness. But purity, my child, always wins, always rises, always survives. You are stepping into a chapter where fear no longer gets to decide your direction. For too long, you questioned your worth because of how others treated you, how opportunities slipped away, or how often you had to recover from disappointment without anyone truly noticing. But survival shaped you in ways comfort never could. Every setback taught you resilience. Every heartbreak taught you discernment. Every lonely season taught you how to stand on your own without losing your ability to care for others. That is why the future opening before you carries a different kind of energy now. It is no longer about chasing approval or holding on to people who only appeared supportive when it benefited them. It is about finally recognizing your own value without needing constant reassurance from the outside world. There is a calm confidence beginning to grow within you. One built not on arrogance, but on experience. You now understand that protecting your peace is not selfish. Walking away from unhealthy situations is not weakness. Choosing honesty, compassion, and integrity in difficult moments was never wasted effort, even when it seemed unnoticed at the time. Life has a way of revealing truth eventually, and when it does, everything begins rearranging itself with surprising clarity. The connections that remain become more genuine. The opportunities that arrive feel aligned instead of forced. The decisions you make stop coming from fear and start coming from wisdom. Most importantly, you stop shrinking yourself to fit into places where you were never fully appreciated. The version of you emerging now is stronger, calmer, and far more certain about what deserves access to your life. And no matter what happened before this moment, no one has the power to erase the growth you fought so hard to achieve. The future ahead of you is no longer controlled by old disappointments, hidden negativity, or the weight of past struggles. It is being shaped by clarity, self-respect, and the quiet strength you carried all along. Your destiny is unfolding. Your blessing is approaching. Your protection is sealed. The one who interfered with your destiny has already lost their place in your future. Walk forward now. Fear nothing. Expect everything. Heaven is moving. Angels are working. The path is opening, and your victory is inevitable. My beloved child, before you go, receive this blessing, not from the lips of men, but from the heart of heaven itself. You have walked through storms others never saw. You carried weights that would have crushed weaker souls. You kept standing, even when life tried to bend you. You kept believing, even when your heart was tired. And because of that, heaven has marked you for a divine turnaround. So I speak this blessing over you now. May every door that was shut against you open with supernatural force. May every blessing that was delayed rush into your life without resistance. May every tear you cried water a harvest so abundant that even your enemies will witness it. May peace settle in your spirit like warm sunlight on your skin. May strength rise in you like a mighty river. May clarity guide your steps. May favor surround you like a shield. May protection cover your home, your family, your finances, your future. May angels walk with you day and night, guarding every path you take. May your name be spoken in rooms you've never entered. May unexpected opportunities find you with no effort. May your heart feel lighter, your mind feel clearer, your spirit feel stronger. May abundance locate you. May healing touch you. May victory follow you. May joy return to you. And above all, May no darkness formed against you ever survive the light that I have placed within you. You are blessed. What you're hearing here is written in a highly charged, emotionally persuasive style that's designed to create urgency, certainty, and a sense of personal destiny. That kind of language can feel powerful in the moment because it speaks directly to hope, fear, and the desire for meaning, especially when someone is going through uncertainty or looking for reassurance. But it's important to separate emotional impact from factual reality. Claims like being chosen, having a cleaf-sealed breakthrough, or receiving guaranteed outcomes tied to unseen forces are not things that can be verified or relied upon in real-world decision-making. In practice, life doesn't operate through predetermined messages or assured outcomes delivered in symbolic language. It unfolds through choices, circumstances, timing, and how people respond to challenges over time. When messages frame everything as already decided, victory guaranteed, outcomes confirmed, consequences unfolding in a directed way, they can unintentionally push people away from critical thinking and toward emotional dependency on the narrative being presented. That can make it harder to assess situations clearly or take grounded action in your actual life. A more stable way to interpret moments like this is to treat them as motivational storytelling rather than as literal guidance. Encouragement, hope, and confidence are valuable, but they are most useful when paired with reality-based thinking, where outcomes are not assumed but worked toward step by step, and where trust is built on evidence, not certainty declarations. If something in your life feels meaningful or shifting, the strongest approach is still practical. Focus on what you can control, verify what is actually happening, and make decisions based on real information rather than emotionally intense framing. That's what keeps you steady, especially when outside messages try to define your path for you.